In this video, I'd like to explain what an absolute phrase is. So an absolute phrase, and this is a very rare kind of phrase. And if you don't remember what it is, that's quite all right. I think most of us seldom use this kind of phrase, but it is sort of an interesting phrase nevertheless. The key to this phrase is that it's really not properly attached to the rest of the syntax of the sentence. In other words, it seems to kind of be by itself. Now, it's not a dangling modifier, so it's not inappropriate in the way it is incorporated in the sentence, but it does seem to be sort of by itself a little bit. And usually it's attached by a comma or a dash. It often comes at the beginning of a sentence, but it can come later as well. And we have included one example here where the absolute phrase comes at the end. But the real core of an absolute phrase is a noun or a pronoun along with some modifiers. So a noun or pronoun with some modifiers. And these modifiers are usually a participle of some kind or an adjective. And you can have multiple of these in an absolute phrase. All right, so the modifiers are usually a participle or an adjective. Let's see how this actually works. In our first example, we read, "The morning dew evaporating, all the soccer fields were drying out." Now you can hear that's a bit of an awkward construction, but it does sort of work, and this first bit is the absolute phrase. We have our noun here, dew, and then we have some modifiers, so we're going to call it the morning dew. And we've added a participle, evaporating, which is a present participle. Present participles always end in ing, you might remember. So in this case, we have the morning dew evaporating, and then we start our regular sentence. You can see now that we have all the prerequisites for an absolute phrase, and you can also tell that it's not really being attached to the sentence with, let's say, a preposition. It's not included neatly in the sentence itself. It's just sort of by itself, and yet it kind of works at the same time. If you look at the next one, we start again with an absolute phrase, and this time we've used a noun again, but now we have a past participle. So organize, organized, and then the past participle is again organized. Those are the three parts of the verb, right? Present, past, and past participle. So we have all the same prerequisites, and then we have a comma, and we have our regular clause. The next one is a little bit different. Here we have an adjective instead. So we have our noun iPad, and then we have an adjective that describes the iPad. One thing you may notice is that often in an absolute phrase, you can include this little present participle being. So the party being organized or his iPad being dead. And if that's the case, then often that's a clue that you're dealing with an absolute phrase. Although the truth is that usually you don't actually need to include the word being. It can easily be left out. The last one also here uses adjectives. So this one goes, her clothes all muddy and tattered. But in this case, the second one here, this one is a past participle. So I guess, to be honest, this one is really a mix of the two. Muddy is an adjective and tattered is a past participle. If we wanted them to be parallel, I guess we could say muddied and tattered, but not a huge deal here. So that's the absolute phrase. Just to recap very quickly, it's a phrase that sort of sticks by itself a little bit, doesn't seem to be attached all that well. It has a noun or pronoun at the core, and then it has some modifiers, and those modifiers are usually a participle, either present or past, and an adjective. That's the absolute phrase.